My beloved child, something is standing between you and the breakthrough I designed for you. It is not visible to the eye, but I see it clearly. You feel delayed, muted, spiritually exhausted. And this is not random. Right now, I am unveiling what the enemy hoped you'd never notice. And if you stay with me through this word, I will show you what must be removed and what glory will be released when it is. Don't look away. This moment is a turning point, and your destiny depends on it. Something or someone has emerged as a blockage between you and the divine path I have intended. There is a hidden, subtle influence working silently to hinder your advancement. While your heart aches to move forward, you may feel you are anchored in place. This obstruction not only slows the blessings I wish to bestow, but also mutes your spiritual insight, making it more challenging to distinguish good from evil, truth from falsehood, and my authentic voice from an imitation of light masking darkness. I perceive what you cannot yet see. I peer beyond that imperceptible curtain where the adversary has planted traps, not with blade or spear, but with uncertainty, fatigue, emotional imbalance, misguided affiliations, and hushed insinuations that lead you to second-guess yourself. I notice the barriers that have been formed, not from physical materials, but from unspoken dreads, from the inward notion that you do not measure up, and from unhealed recollections that continue to wound you softly. My child, you cannot stand by and do nothing. If you fail to pause for discernment, to cry out to me, and to step into my presence with a yearning heart seeking illumination, you will keep spiraling in a muted, ceaseless cycle, always close yet never quite touching, always seeing yet never grasping, always moving yet never arriving. I did not make you for a life of partial steps or unfinished paths. I fashioned you to walk in unbounded liberty, in authority, and in a steadfast light. For that to manifest, you must view matters not with human logic, but with spiritual vision. Consider this. What is silently robbing your peace? Is it a person, a circumstance, or even a notion that regularly results in confusion, mental agitation, or doubt about your calling? Are you aligned with someone whose presence unsettles your soul? Even though all appears fine on the surface, is there an action, regardless of how small, that is steadily intruding upon the time and intimacy you share with me? If you have answered yes, then carefully heed what I must say next. Do not wait for everything to collapse before seeking me. I do not give this warning to incite dread, but to show you a way out before things crumble. You must begin releasing what is not from me, be it a connection, a routine, a job, or even a goal pursued by your own will rather than my Spirit's guidance. Not all open doors are opened by me. Not every proposition originates in heaven, and not every companion at your side is one I have sent. My love for you is too great for me to be silent when something restricts you from attaining genuine spiritual liberty. Are you aware why blessings are deferred? Because I refrain from placing heaven's riches in hands driven by a restless mind or on roads that have not been cleared. I wait for your awakening. I wait for you to behold, and for you to have the courage to ask, Lord, is there anything in my life obstructing your plans? When you ask from a sincere heart, I will respond, not with chastisement, but with kindness and radiance. I will not leave you wrestling with darkness by yourself. I am never the one who warns and turns away. I am the one who speaks truth and also provides the resolution. I do not abandon you to the forces longing to rob you of your destiny, nor do I desert you at the pivotal junctures of your soul, where critical choices must be made without clarity. No, my child, I am present here and now to reveal untruths, tear down each barrier, and guide you into the domain of total freedom and grace. Show strength, lift your head, trust wholeheartedly that you have not been forsaken in this vulnerable state. My hand is a protective shield encircling you, a fortress as conflict rages. No arrow from the shadows can penetrate my safeguard when you dwell in honesty and walk in brilliance. You were never meant to battle alone. I personally fight on your behalf. My purpose in unveiling the darkness is not to inspire terror, but to liberate you. The hindrances I have brought to light are not intended to dishearten you, but to bring about awareness that action is now necessary. I have opened your eyes so you can see distinctly, not to instill caution, but to embolden you. I have disclosed hidden matters so you can stand in the power conferred upon the chosen, no longer trapped in unseen snares. I will not permit any force to hold you back, given that I have already consecrated you to enter my grand design. O precious one, if your heart genuinely desires to fully inhabit the destiny I charted for you, if you yearn to receive every blessing with neither postponement nor limitation, then do not hold your tongue. Proclaim it with vibrant faith. Declare it not only with your lips, but through your whole being. Yes, I need this. I want to step into every good thing my Father has planned for me. Faith is not just an emotion. It is motion, bravery, and the fervent cry of a soul that understands it belongs to the one whose promises stand unbroken. Why do I label this a grave admonition? Because whatever stands in the gap between you and the fullness I've laid out is a direct risk to the realization of your God-given purpose. These are not ordinary trials. This is a brazen theft of destiny, a derailing of eternal design, and a strangling of the potential I wove into you before you were ever formed. That, my child, is something I will not endure. I will not simply observe as my precious gem is concealed under layers of terror, insecurity, or barricades, whether placed by others or unknowingly by you. I designed you with a distinct purpose. Nothing within you is random. No talent you hold is superfluous. Every skill, every passion, every pulse was deliberately ordained. Every spark in your gaze, each gladness, every cause that stirs your spirit, all carry the imprint of your mission. What you once thought of as mere interests are truly signposts aiming you toward your divine appointment. The dreams you dismissed as trifling contain fragments of my blueprint, crafted in boundless love and wisdom, uniquely for you. You were never meant to lead a life of mediocrity. You were fashioned to shine as an irreplaceable element within my vast tapestry. Whenever a person, a condition, or even your own mentality impedes that plan, it becomes a barricade not solely to you, but to the outpouring of gifts I intended through you to bless the world. I say to you today, pause and ponder. Summon the bravery to ask what is keeping you confined. Who tells you words that breed self-doubt? Have you buried yourself in trivial pursuits, leaving no room for what truly matters forever? Are you letting bygone rejections muffle my voice speaking now? If the answer is yes, then understand this. My child, my arm is extended to draw you out from all that does not come from me. My purpose is not condemnation but rescue. Yet this rescue demands your participation. I will not force freedom upon you. I open its gates and ask you to walk through. Tell me yes, and I will act. Offer your nod, and I will clear a path. Confess your need of me, and I will reveal wonders you never thought you deserved. When inner or spiritual hurdles obstruct you, the loss is not confined to you alone. Its impact spreads like a silent ripple, touching everyone nearby. I have trusted you with sacred capabilities that only you can hold. No one but you can echo your voice in that unique timbre. Only your feet are meant to traverse the terrain I laid out prior to Earth's creation. If you stall, it's not merely a personal delay. It's a postponement for all waiting for the light you bear to shine. Each soul destined to meet you in your appointed time is shaped by the conflicts that rage within you. These stumbling blocks do not always descend as obvious storms. Sometimes they creep in gently, like a passing remark that wounds, an icy quiet overlooked, the subtle pang of being disregarded, or a momentary thought that you're inadequate. They are like tiny seeds dropped in unguarded instants. If you fail to uproot them timely, they will implant themselves, multiplying into spiritual thorns that stifle your spirit and erode you in unseen struggles. My cherished child, do you grasp that any unresolved hindrance can evolve into a fortress within your soul? A pessimistic notion, when repeatedly entertained, becomes a mental groove. A stifled feeling morphs into a murky undercurrent that influences your daily responses. Unaddressed bitterness, hidden in the darkness rather than surrendered for healing, gradually colors your view of everything around you. What was a minor scratch becomes a gaping wound, then scars over, toughening and desensitizing your heart. I don't speak this to instill dread, but to remind you I see into the farthest reaches of your being, those areas you dare not confront. I see the hushed sighs concealed from the world, the restless nights stirred by unsaid words, the aspirations left dormant because you lost faith in yourself. Yet I also behold within you a fragile flame still burning. Even if it flickers faintly, it can burst into a bright blaze when touched by heaven's breath. I come today to kindle that ember, to show you that no wall is too tall for me to tear down, no chain so thick I cannot break it. You are not meant to hide in corners or bear unspoken burdens. You were created to radiate, to love, to thrive in the total freedom I sacrificed dearly to provide. So do not permit old hurts, inaccurate judgments, or unexpressed resentments to erect barriers between you and the assignment you were born to undertake. I recognize your moments of exhaustion, your sense of treading water, bracing against life's tempests with no one fully comprehending your load. I saw how often you forgave, only to be hurt once more. I understand how you exposed your heart, only to encounter rejection. But, my child, it is precisely in such experiences that I shape you into someone immovable. Each time you forgive in the absence of an apology, you dismantle another slab in the wall hindering love. Each time you resolve to trust in the face of uncertainties, you advance toward wholeness. Let me accompany you through every internal landscape, through the dim corners holding your suppressed emotions, and into the chambers sealed shut from dread of confronting painful memories. I am more than the one who imparts endurance. I am the one who clasps your hand and stands with you in every point in time. When you topple, I am not a distant spectator to your conflicts. I am there, lifting you with a compassion that never fails. My beloved one, at this pivotal moment, you cannot risk a divided heart. Not even briefly. Guard your attention on me. Refuse to let daily clamor or passing cares draw you away from the message I am delivering to your spirit. Your enemy watches intently for each lapse of focus, each wave of fatigue, each hushed self-reminder of, perhaps I'll meditate later, maybe tomorrow I'll pray with more depth, or maybe I don't have to respond just yet. But my dear child, exactly in such moments of inaction, diversion grows like an unnoticed seed, slowly dulling the spiritual alertness I've placed within you as a treasure of inestimable worth. The adversary does not require you to stumble headlong. It only needs you to vacillate in your obedience, to bypass a flicker of divine guidance. From there, it can drag you into a cycle of self-doubt and condemnation. It realizes that if you seize the breakthrough I have readied for you, everything changes. Your personal life, but also the spiritual environment of your family, your community, and even future lineages. Thus, it endeavors tirelessly to make you pass over my voice as if it were just one among many familiar sounds, lacking the force to truly transform your heart. So I speak now. Pause. Enter stillness. Give your spirit an interval to really listen, not just with your ears, but your entire being. What I whisper to your inmost self in this hour is not a trite repetition, but a door into something utterly fresh. There is a divine gateway cracking open, reserved for those who stay alert. You do not need to comprehend it all, nor labor to accomplish something amazing. You only need to be present. Relinquish self-reliance on your own knowledge, and let me instruct you anew with an understanding that defies logic. Open your soul like parched earth yearning for water, like a child eager for a wonder only a loving father can give. I am raining down an insight that does not originate in human books, but in revelation. Truths unveiled solely when the spirit kneels low, when the heart welcomes humility, ready to relearn even the simplest truths in my light. This is not the world's wisdom, but the radiance that guides you in obscurity, your natural vision cannot handle. It is a clarity that unveils what you must hold firmly and what you should surrender. It is the gallantry to stride across water when familiar things crumble all around. You cannot claim these treasures if you assume you already know enough. Even a faint glimmer of spiritual pride, so subtle it's almost invisible, can surreptitiously seal the entrance to deeper experiences. Whenever you think, "I've encountered this before," or "I've already been through that," you unintentionally shut yourself off from the broader realms I wish to draw you into. I do not want you simply to acquire facts about me. I want you to meet me personally. Nor do I want you to only recall teachings. My will is for you to be changed by the power in the word itself. So every aspect you touch radiates heaven's imprint. Child, don't let the seeming ordinariness of certain phrases obscure the sanctity within. Though you have heard many prophecies, explored many passages, participated in numerous prayer vigils, what I am orchestrating now differs from all past experiences. This is a fresh wind, a modest but powerful spiritual shift. Only those who are awake in spirit will detect it. Do not harden your heart with outdated assumptions. Let go of the idea that all must be fully understood before you progress. You do not need to possess every answer. You only need a readiness to listen and whisper, "Teach me from the start." Once you open your heart in such a manner, I will pour out blessings well beyond your human scope. You will gain the wisdom to sift what is genuinely righteous from what only appears so. You will see past the polished facade of cunning falseness. You will walk not in your own strength, but by the force of my spirit. And even if the journey ahead remains clouded, your steps will be stable, because your spirit will sense a sustaining hand leading you onward. My cherished one, this instant is unique. It is not marked by merely difficulty, but by transition. You do not stand between a pair of mundane choices, but at the boundary of two destinies. On one side is the usual realm of comfort. On the other awaits a walk of trust where I will accomplish what has never been witnessed. If you let interruptions tear your focus from this sacred point of divine perception, you could revert to that cyclical pattern, waiting another season for a breakthrough you could seize today. So remain vigilant. Regard my words as precious jewels in your heart. Watch each stray thought, each minor choice, for they are the first stepping stones on your fated road. You do not live for yourself alone. The entire realm of heaven awaits your consent. I am close, so close. Let your heart be stirred not by secondary distractions, but by eternal love and a holy invitation. Be steadfast and stride into your breakthrough, for I have prepared the route already. My treasured one, keep in mind perpetually, I have never and will never be passive regarding the wars you fight. My love is not solely a calming presence for your fatigue. It is a blazing flame that marches ahead of you, a consecrated might shattering every subtle shackle the darkness would use to confine you. I am the one who intervenes on your behalf, clearing obstacles, encasing you in safety, pouring forth miraculous potency so you can accomplish the assignment I have ordained. In the majestic tapestry I'm unveiling, you have a role that no other can fulfill. The victory meant for you is not a random boon from the sky, but the harvest of profound partnership between heaven and an obedient heart. You must choose, not just once, but over and over, every sunrise, every evening, every minute. When enticement arises, when passions blaze, when circumstances prompt you to doubt my promises, you must stand on my word, even if your feelings diverge. You must devote yourself to prayer, not merely with your voice, but with a resilient spirit. You must forgive, not because others deserve it, but because you realize forgiveness is the release that frees you from concealed captivity. You also must be courageous enough to proceed, not with total clarity, but with trust that my hand is guiding your way at every twist. Wait not for lucidity to dawn before acting. Only when you step forward in faith will I make your route unmistakable. Faith is not a momentary excitement, but a deliberate pledge to believe, especially when the path is uncharted and uncertain on every map. Sometimes you sense encumbrances on all fronts, doors that never open, petitions that appear unheard, aspirations slipping further out of reach. My dear child, this is not because you've been forsaken by me. Rather, there are unseen struggles, spiritual impediments, lingering tensions in relationships or memories, the spaces you inhabit, or even hidden layers in your heart, constructing a wall that prevents you from experiencing the flood of grace I desire to lavish upon you. So implore my Spirit, who discerns all things, to illuminate your inner sight, so you identify precisely what stands in your way. Ask for clear vision, not just to see the obstacle, but also to trace its root. Maybe it is a friend sowing small seeds of uncertainty in your life. Maybe it is a memory left unhealed, clamping your heart shut to fresh beginnings. Maybe it is an understated deception disguised as logic that hinders you from embracing the grand possibility I have implanted within. Once it comes into focus, do not avert your eyes. Ask for my strength to step right into that place, not in hostility or trepidation, but with the resolve of one aligned with light, wielding truth tempered by love, speaking forthrightly, yet gently, voicing what must be declared, but never letting bitterness warp your insight. I have not commissioned you to gloss over evil or ignore what needs addressing. You are called to confront it, traverse it, and demolish blockades in the victorious might born of obedience. My power remains with you, even if you feel frail. Actually, it is in that admission of your own shortfall that my activity becomes most profound. Your humility summons my uplifting embrace. Your surrender welcomes my grand design to unfold. Each step, tremulous or otherwise, draws you away from darkness, leading you toward the light at the path's end. You will never be alone in this pilgrimage. Legions of angels have orders to guard, shield, guide, and prompt you. My Spirit abides near, softly directing the mind that chooses to open. And I, the one who initiated a good work in you, pledge fidelity to complete it all the way through. But your collaboration is essential, not perfection, but dependability. Not superhuman might, but a willingness to utter, though I don't comprehend everything, I choose to believe. Even in my frailty, I opt to comply. My beloved, do not passively remain, anticipating transformation from the outside. I have placed the key in your grasp. Turn the lock. Arise, pray, pardon, advance, rely, engage, fulfill your part, and I will handle mine, the portion no one can accomplish but me, shifting mountains, dividing seas, revealing doors, and bringing the impossible to fruition. You will someday gaze back and discover that your bold decisions unlocked a new volume in your story. Not merely a chapter of hanging on, but one of triumph, regeneration, and celestial splendor. My adored child, be still at this moment, allowing my words to penetrate the depths of your being. I see you, traversing a domain where all is blurred, where formerly bright signals fade and diversions accumulate like a curtain around every path. But recall, reality doesn't always emerge by what physical eyes detect. Certain truths can only be unveiled by faith's sight and discerned by ears tuned through my Spirit. So my child, pray earnestly, not only with utterances, but with a heart eager to witness heaven's revelations. Plead for spiritual vision, that you might see beyond appearances, that you might recognize the deeper causes beneath seemingly harmless surfaces. You may have hurts too profound for language, afflictions inflicted by ones you cherished, silences that fractured your spirit, or apathy from someone who should have steadied you in the storm. But my dear child, the real threat is not the behavior of others. It is your heart's response. Unforgiveness, if left veiled and not placed before me, stealthily spoils the river of life in you. It draws your trust in goodness into question, undermines love itself, and closes your heart to the wonders I'm eager to awaken. I do not fault you for the pain you feel. I see each teardrop in those lonely nights you demand to know why. I do not ask you to feign indifference, but to ascend to a higher place by letting go. Not to excuse what the offender did, but to liberate yourself from the dungeon that resentment builds. True liberation doesn't come after people change. It begins when you open your palms and relinquish what was never yours to hold. Forgiveness proclaims you no longer consent to be tied to the source of your pain, and that you choose to believe I am the judge, not you. As you release, allow your lips to assist in the restoration of the damaged places. Speak words of life to your own dry ground. Do not let the soil taken over by distrust and disillusion become a graveyard for your hope. Pronounce my truth, whether or not you instantly sense it, even if outwardly nothing improves. Because each utterance, shaped by faith, is a living seed placed in waiting earth. Repeat it to yourself until every strand of your being recalls, I am chosen, I am cherished, I hold a sacred calling in Christ. This isn't a mere slogan, it is an everlasting truth, etched in blood on the cross, sealed in the victory of resurrection. No rejection, no past, no wound has the strength to revoke that. Every time you affirm it, you reaffirm your legitimacy as a child, your entitlement to walk in the radiance, to emerge from the dust, to be remade. You will see that as my words permeate your mind, and as your own voice replicates these declarations from heaven, everything will transform, not merely within you, but around you. For the words I speak never return void. They slice through unseen chains, dissolve doubt's haze, and spark brilliance in places condemned by darkness. As you live out that truth, you will cease looking to others for approval. You will walk like someone who realizes they belong to a kingdom that can never be toppled. In that conviction, you will no longer be wounded so readily by rejection. You will cease to respond as a casualty and instead stand as a co-heir of my glory, not because you are self-sufficient, but because you have put your unwavering confidence in me, the one who remains constant. My dear child, make this your sacred cadence. Pray for discernment. Forgive to find freedom, and speak truth to unleash life. I do not call you to excel in all these instantly, but I invite you to cultivate them faithfully, step by step. It is within this very practice that a serene yet unstoppable shift will occur, like a delicate plant emerging from the soil, at first unseen, but one day growing into a mighty tree whose leaves will shield countless souls. Now is the time you can no longer linger. Acquire the skill of swift obedience, not marred by postponement, not filtered through your own rationale, not swayed by external predicaments that try to detour you from the road I have outlined. Procrastinated obedience is the gap through which uncertainty enters, the gate by which the enemy sows terror, the second in which darkness hopes to swallow the light I reveal. Each time you stall, you pass up a divine opportunity I've arranged to rescue, guide, and propel you onward. I am aware that the enemy strives relentlessly to constrain you. It may not appear in obvious terror or enticement, but often in voices of reason that whisper you are not sufficiently prepared, or that timing is off, or that you should bide a little longer. But my child, postponed obedience is not wisdom. It is a veiled form of backing down. Each time you hear my instructions, yet fail to act, you sacrifice a moment of miracle for the comfort of immediate safety. Miracles, though, do not flourish in enclaves of ease. They emerge the instant you decide to trust, step off the boat, and proceed across the water, even with no shore in sight. Individuals may define your limitations. They can say you lack the skill, you lack the fortitude, or you simply are unsuited for great things. They may apply the lens of their own journey to predict your destiny. But hear me, nobody has the right to restrict the one I have chosen. When my gaze rests on you, I do not simply note who you currently are. I perceive the fullness of who you are becoming, the end I envisioned for you before your mother ever held you. I charted a destiny for your spirit, leaving no place for predestined failure. Only a route toward glory, if only you will walk with me. I also see how your past insists on whispering, reminding you of your shortcomings, your abandonments, the mistakes you made that appear irreparable. But heed me, my child. Once you have surrendered your yesterdays to me, they lose all authority to confine your spirit. What took place is not an eternal stamp of guilt, but a living witness to grace, provided you allow my hand to transform it. The enemy might recall what you did to belittle you, but I use it to mold a fighter for faith, someone who has seen sorrow and can thus hold genuine compassion for the grieving. In true partnership with me, nothing can deter your progress. No wall is beyond my power to destroy. No door I open can be slammed by another. No plan I set in motion can be undone by any power. When you walk in submission, my beloved, remember carefully, every single gift I have stored for you, every chance, every blessing, every healing, every quiet miracle awaiting its cue, bears your name. They come not by luck, nor do they belong to someone else. They were carefully designed for you, out of my steadfast love. The only necessary requirement is faith. Not faith that shifts with moods, but faith as unyielding as a stone, clinging to my promises regardless of the turmoil around. I do not say I have great things planned for you just to console you. I do not offer shallow promises just to placate your hopes. I am the Lord your God, whose every spoken word stands. When I say I have a future for you, it means I have already established a domain no one else can occupy, a harvest that only blossoms in your presence, a route only you can faithfully traverse. But to arrive at that place, you must transcend your fears. You must choose trust each day, even when your sight can't detect a path. You must take that initial step, though your feet tremble. I do not ask you to begin already fortified. I only ask you to say, Lord, I believe. Even if I cannot fully grasp this, I choose to press on. That precise instant of your determination, the heavens rearrange themselves. I commission my angels, and doors you deemed forever sealed start to swing wide. You will realize it was your faith, not external events, that ushered you to the place of revelation. My child, let not human timelines, others' voices, or even your own emotions restrict the grander calling I extend. Obey decisively. Trust that my timing is ever exact. And do not forget, if I have begun a noble work in you, I shall bring it to glorious fulfillment. So rise, not burdened by worry, but with eager expectancy, not in restless toil, but with complete confidence. Your season of blessing nears. You stand closer now than ever, and I, the Eternal One, am still speaking. Advance, my beloved, for nothing shall delay you further. My precious one, the time has arrived to confidently depart from every bond that has hampered you. Do not let old recollections, previous stumbles, or subdued criticisms swirling in your mind keep you confined to a smallness that is no longer yours. My design was never for you to exist in fear, or to tread only within boundaries set by people or by yourself. You entered this world for a holy purpose, with a destiny surpassing earthly comprehension. Today, I come to remove the final shackles holding your spirit, these almost invisible bonds tying you to indecision, to disbelief, and to a partial version of your true identity. You have become so accustomed to self-doubt that you hardly recognize it. Each time you ponder, am I truly able, or do I measure up? You are letting a stranger's voice speak within the sacred space I meant to occupy wholly. Whether from circumstances, people, or a hurtful past, these voices are not mine. They are the echoes of falsehood hidden under convincing appearances, seeking to cloud your vision and prevent you from comprehending who you are in me. For far too long, you have allowed them to shape your decisions, your lifestyle, and your self-image. But that ends now. Today is a day of liberation, no mere distant or vague deliverance, but a living word from me. You are free. Not only have I uncovered the secret elements holding you back, but I have arrived with the key to unfasten the door you believed was permanently shut. My truth does not merely expose, it redeems. I do not reveal wounds to censure you, but to mend them. I do not resurface your past to sorrow you, but to indicate it no longer exerts control over you. You stand upon a threshold. Behind you is the realm of postponement, where hopes were smothered by obligations, where your faith was a lifeline rather than a raging flame. Ahead is the realm of genuine living, where every footstep resonates with divine direction, where your heart finds rebirth in unflinching joy, and where each morning breaks with a vibrant expectancy. Today, God is about to do something new. I invite you to step through that gate. Leave all stale remnants behind. Bring only trust. There is no need to justify your past, only the willingness to entrust it to my care. Now is the moment to let me write the final line in that previous segment and open a new chapter composed by my own hand, a chapter of renewal, rebuilding, and heavenly transformation. You are not meant to remain among the rubble of unfulfilled prospects, but to stride forthrightly in the might of what I am initiating. I am aware that lingering terror still resides in you. Fear of repeating old blunders, fear of further rejection, fear that if you try, you will stumble. But recall, courage is not the absence of fear, but the determination to move forward despite it, motivated by trust in the one who journeys beside you. I walk with you, not behind you, but at your side, not watching from afar, but as your helper, champion, guardian, and guide. My child, every struggle you've braved has been visible to me. I saw all your solitary tears, each time you masked pain with forced smiles, those occasions where you felt certain you wouldn't carry on. I also witnessed that you never surrendered, which leads you to this critical juncture, this turning point. It is not a stroke of luck, it is a heavenly arrangement, not because your strength was superior, but because I perceived your heart was tender enough to concede and humble enough to receive something vastly greater. Allow me to reshape your self-image. You are not the injured one anymore. You are the one healed. You are not the forsaken one. You are the one whose name is spoken in heaven. You no longer struggle to be worthy. You are the one who is loved unconditionally. Because of this certainty, you can lift your eyes, shedding shame, and walk with the assurance of one who belongs to an unshakable realm. Wait not for a sense of readiness before you launch. Strength is distributed as you progress. My words will become yours as you start to speak. Angels will stir as soon as you step out in faith. Let not the stalling of yesterday stifle the movement of the present. The time to claim the new is now. Get up confidently, knowing this day has been set apart by heaven. All bindings are being broken, obstacles dismantled, the entrance unlocked. Again I say, you stand at the threshold of freedom. Cross it. Rely on my capacity to realize the unimaginable. As you continue forward, you shall not revert to what you left behind. For you were made for a finer realm, a future shaped by my eternal affection. I beckon you now into a deeper fellowship with me. This era is not for mere feeling, but for doing, not just hearing, but applying. For this, you will require precise direction, a map not drawn from human theories, but one given by my own heart and higher plans. Therefore, my child, let me offer you each step clearly, solid, practical, alive, and not intangible, leading you progressively toward all I have determined. First, immerse yourself in my word. Let it never become just casual reading for odd hours or a quick fix in hard times. Let it be your lifeline, the source you cannot live without, the breath of faith, and your single guiding voice in the cacophony of the world. Every time you open Scripture, it is not a routine. It is a divine appointment where I speak face to face with you. In each passage, in every assurance, I plant seeds of truth in your spirit, set to flourish into discernment, stability, and clarity. Avoid hastening through it. Linger, reflect, ponder. Make each promise of mine your signpost in the desert, your beacon in the dusk, your warmth in the chilliest spiritual nights. As my word takes root, you will no longer drift in bewilderment but proceed with certitude, distinguishing authenticity from deception, knowing what to cling to and what to abandon. Do not undertake this journey by yourself. I did not structure your spiritual venture to be solitary. You require companionship in your walk, stable fellow believers who carry the enlightenment that descends from heaven so they can provide brightness in your seasons of obscurity. Seek the individuals I have placed near you, not randomly, but because they possess something of me, maybe a needed word, an outside viewpoint, or mighty intercession for when your spirit is fatigued. Join with trustworthy spiritual overseers, genuine companions, those whose hearts remain tender in my presence. They will not dictate your path, but they can help you find clarity. They will not overpower you, but they will guard your spirit in watchfulness. Sometimes you cannot perceive what stirs in your own core, but those intimately walking with me can sense it, and I will speak, remind, uplift, and correct you through them. Above everything, my child, pray earnestly with a genuine spirit and an unwavering resolve. Prayer is not a mere formal activity or shallow ritual. It is the life spring linking your heart to mine. Whenever you pray, through sobs or in hushed devotion, with fluid speech or silent yearning, I am listening, and I remember each word. They rise before my throne as sweet incense. In my appointed moment, I will answer. Do not presume that a single prayer will abruptly change your entire situation. This is not a one-way discourse or a sudden wonder. It is a pilgrimage, a profound and continuous exchange between father and child, where day after day, moment by moment, you learn to depend, yield, and pay heed. Pray steadfastly. Let your faith mature in perseverance. Pray in your stillness, for I work profoundly in silence. Pray from your weakness, for my strength is magnified at your lowest point. All the while, trust I am beside you, even when you do not sense my presence. I have never departed from your side, even if you see no speedy results. Do not think your prayers are pointless. You are sowing blessed seeds, and eventually you will reap in overflowing thankfulness, for I will surpass even your grandest dreams. My cherished child, at present I call you deeper, beyond transitory feelings and into a life of sure conviction, no longer swayed by random bursts of inspiration, but by my higher direction. I do not promise a path free of difficulties, but I promise to remain with you through each challenge. If you prove faithful in little things, I will lead you to far bigger blessings. Listen, pursue, persist, obey. In every faithful act, you assemble a bridge to the dazzling destiny I have reserved since eternity. When your spirit quivers and your faith feels battered by the unseen, that moment is precisely when your praise should rise even higher. Not because life is seamless, but because praising me before the fulfillment is the pinnacle of faith, a statement that you are certain I hold all things together, even as your mortal eyes glimpse no movement. Praise is not only a melodic refrain or softly raised voice in a gathering, it is an intentional decision, a posture of your heart, surrender in the middle of disorder. It is declaring, I trust, when all within you protests, I doubt. Offering praise amid worry is no easy feat, yet it is at that very juncture that your soul awakens powerfully. Worship birthed from a hurting heart holds a force that shifts the spiritual climate, cracking the thick clouds of hopelessness and allowing beams of light to penetrate once dark corners. Child, never diminish the might of exalting me, even before you witness the miracle. In those precise moments, when you choose songs of adoration despite life's uproar, shackles you cannot see start breaking. The chains of trepidation, bitterness, and gloom quiver and fall away as you sing, as you declare my goodness, my faithfulness, my unalterable nature. Genuine worship stems not from fleeting moods, but from a revelation of who I eternally am. When you praise me, it is far more sacred than mere outward performance. You realign your heart to heaven's pulse. It's not just a balm for worry. It reestablishes the link between earth and heaven inside you. Each hymn, each gratitude-filled phrase is a stride out of obscurity and into the glow of my presence. That place of praise is where I approach you most intimately. No darkness can overpower the light of worship offered in genuine belief. My beloved, these paths, staying immersed in the Word, praying, engaging wise counsel, praising through strife, may initially appear simple. We are in a world spinning wildly, so these small acts might seem almost pointless. Yet, precisely in these modest, faithful disciplines lies the capacity to demolish strongholds of darkness. They are not merely moral disciplines, but spiritual implements I've entrusted to you for constructing a life not rocked by external events. They are akin to the smooth stones in David's pouch, unremarkable to the eye, but able to topple giants that make others flee in dread. Victory lies not in the magnitude of what you do, but in the anointing of my Spirit resting upon it. When your heart chooses compliance in the trivial matters, you forge a clear road toward something far greater, a sanctified way, a consecrated route where wondrous happenings flow unfettered, where supernatural involvement is not obstructed by suspicion or reluctance. The magnificence is that as you persist in walking this path, your own heart increasingly aligns with mine. You will no longer judge through the lens of terror, but through the perspective of faith and hope. The forces that once alarmed you will lose their edge. The influences that previously created havoc will be stilled by the sacred tranquility I develop within. My presence will become more than a pursuit for specific moments of prayer. It will transform into the very atmosphere you occupy each day. My cherished one, I don't just wish to save you from troubles. I want you to dwell in genuine liberty. Such freedom doesn't require a life free of problems, but a heart unburdened by them. A heart that can sing in the eye of the hurricane, assured that even though all is not perfectly resolved, you remain held by the one who never shifts. Once you grasp that my response is not a trophy for your perfection, but the effect of a heart yielded to me, you will truly rest. Therefore today, even if your heart is uneasy, even if your circumstances test your endurance, begin to exalt me. Let every line of worship be a fanfare heralding the imminent breakthrough. Let your adoration be a weapon slicing the night, unveiling heaven over your existence. And you will behold, I am not merely a God who hears, but the one who returns unstoppable answers. I love you, and I constantly work for the sake of those who confide in me and offer praise with all their soul. My beloved child, the time has come for you to arise from inactivity and progress with unfaltering belief. Permit no obstacle, a cutting remark, an old defeat, or a seemingly imperceptible barrier to dim the vision I have rooted so deeply in you. Never let a shadow, be it a person, a situation, or a spiritual deception, skillfully built by darkness, daunt you or disrupt your journey. You are not created to be crippled by limitations, panic, or dragged out doubt. You are shaped to stand in authority, to walk in spiritual freedom, and to allow my heavenly direction to carry you forward. Your purpose is no imaginary or distant idea reserved for more deserving souls. It belongs to you, with all your blemishes, all your longings, your joyful moments, and nights without sleep. Yes, you are the one I have selected to illuminate a world craving wholeness. That light does not need your strained efforts to emerge. I have already embedded it inside you. It awakens every time you pick compassion over resentment, optimism over despair, prayer over complaint. You need not look beyond yourself for boldness. I have placed it within you. Rise in spiritual valor, not as hubris, but as the deep realization that power from on high has been granted to you. Your training came in testing seasons, in anonymous fights. Each time you resisted surrender, each time you held your ground in adversity, I was pouring fresh strength into your spirit. Now my spirit operates in you, not just to keep you afloat, but to usher you into triumph. Do not wait for an untroubled circumstance before embarking. The time is now. I supply precisely what you need, here in this moment, with your current self, even if you still feel ill-prepared. I have already planned for that. Your inadequacy is where my might shines brightest. Your failing is the gap through which I lift you to supernatural heights. Do not remain idle until difficulties lessen. Step forward even with a foggy view, for this is authentic faith. My child, my word is not a collection of idle letters, but the essence of life, weaponry, a solid base. When you truly let my word infuse your thoughts, govern your emotions, and determine your decisions, you clothe yourself with spiritual armor, donning the helmet of redemption and gripping the sword of the Spirit's power. Each verse you confess, each promise you recall, is another piece of armor, forging the warrior this broken world yearns for. Never forget that my love cloaks you. It is not a love that imprisons, coerces, or demands, but one that liberates, mends, and renews. It is like a tender wrap around your wounds, a mellow current flowing into your arid heart. Even should you stumble, tire, or waver, my love stays unaltered. It does not ebb with your mood, but stands firmly on my everlasting loyalty. So, my beloved, go boldly. Let no concealed doubts erode your awareness of who you are. Let no warped words or judgments from others distort your self-view. Let not your yesterdays overshadow the luminous promise lying ahead. If you could only witness what I have laid in store, if you heard heaven rejoicing as you take your next stride, you would not tarry one instant longer. I am urging you to truly inhabit the freedom I secured for you. Cease living as if you remain locked in chains. Do not let history shape your tomorrows. Do not let fear decide your every step. You have been reclaimed, selected, anointed. The time is upon you to press onward, to move into the promised land, to seize what I ordained for you from creation's dawn. I do not vow a journey free of trials, but I promise my unending presence. I will war at your side, protect you, sustain you, and cause every part of your existence to work together for good, provided you keep advancing, continue trusting, and keep your heart open to me. Be constantly mindful. You do not traverse this road alone. A heavenly legion marches in lockstep with you, the entire might of heaven awaiting your cries, your willingness to accept counsel, and every act of conformity to my word. You are not just carrying your own aspirations. You hold within you a piece of an infinite mission, a radiance set to pierce the darkest domain. Heed closely what I say to you now, for you stand not merely in a transitory stage, but in a holy training ground for the mighty destiny for which I chose you before time's dawn. Every obedient move, each new revelation I grant, fits into the intricate tapestry I am weaving. You are not alone in this process. I am at work in the deepest parts of your being with a love so profound it both refines and empowers. I am not merely preparing you for fleeting obstacles. No, my child, I am preparing you for a higher calling beyond imagination, beyond anything you have perceived, beyond any story you have heard, beyond any dream your heart has conjured. Do not think the recent seasons were simply about enduring difficulties. Rather, they formed your classroom of transformation. Through every hidden spiritual fight, in each moral stand taken amid easier but wrong paths, I was embedding truths beyond all common learning. I have been pouring my very essence into your core, not superficial learning or abstract words, but genuine, sanctified fire descending from my throne. Gentle promptings of the Spirit stirring the depths of who you are, igniting in you a holy capability yet to be revealed. I am not molding you to be identical to others. I am shaping you into the fullest version of yourself, precisely how I envisioned you when I originally crafted you. Through this divine procedure, I have planted in your soul heavenly seeds: courage, insight, spiritual sensitivity, and the ability to hear me clearly. These seeds do not thrive amid noise or hardened hearts. They flourish in sacred silence, steady adoration, and a heart consistently pliable in my presence. Underestimate them not if they seem small now. They hold within them the capacity to rise tall as the cedars of Lebanon on the mountain of the Most High. Treasure these gifts. Treat your heart as hallowed ground, needing the water of prayer, extended consideration of my word, and genuine submission. Do not permit these holy seeds to be smothered by anxiety, by comparing yourself to others, or by the suspicious mutterings of the world. You need not produce grand acts for my notice. Simply be trustworthy with what I've placed in you, and I will see it flourish according to my sacred vision. Refrain from rushing or forcing these fragile sprouts to bear fruit instantly. Spiritual maturity unfolds slowly, not in a single leap. The revelations you gain today support the progress of tomorrow. Every time you choose to rely rather than distrust, each instance of obeying instead of fleeing in fear, your spiritual foundation roots deeper into the everlasting rock. When firmly grounded, no gale can topple you. Also realize that this training transcends your own benefit. I am preparing you to assist numerous souls who shall be touched through your testimony. What I instill now will eventually serve as nourishment for hungry souls. The sorrows you have withstood alongside me will one day be the healing salve for those who are broken. You are not simply someone rescued, but someone destined to bring rescue to regions enshrouded in gloom. The seeds I deposit in you now will nourish and sustain entire fields ripe for reaping. Therefore, do not be surprised if your route seems unusual. Fear not when I lead you where others seldom go. Your vocation is singular, and so is the manner in which I prepare you. There will be nights with no clear reason or explanation, but if your heart stands firmly in trust, you will eventually look back and marvel at how every thread was precisely and splendidly interwoven. Mark my promise, no obedient act of yours is wasted, no plea is overlooked, and not a single tear remains uncollected. I use every piece of your history to fashion you into a vessel brimming with my glory, equipped not just to partake in blessing, but to channel blessings for countless others. My beloved, as your spirit aligns with heaven's tempo, I invite you into an even deeper level of spiritual vigilance, not just to recognize my marvelous purposes, but to live every moment with deliberate reverence. Each choice, each statement, each deed resonates into the halls of eternity. Handle nothing casually, for no event is accidental along the path I have drafted. Each decision holds a key that will either open gates of blessing or quietly lock away the route I prepared even before you knew of it. Hence, child, practice living each moment as though it is sacred. Don't be rash. Don't act out of reflex. Don't let circumstances or outer demands navigate your soul off the track I have ordained. Reflect and ask, what genuinely holds importance in light of forever? When you meet a fork in the road, when your affections tug you in various directions, let my guidance become the mirror that reveals the truest road. Reject the noise that covers my comforting whisper, a whisper that persistently summons you to unwavering truth, to timeless principles, and to the priceless things that last forever. You will find illusions that look pressing but are hollow at their core. You will see small, easily overlooked things that actually lay the groundwork for an incredible future. This is precisely why you must weigh all matters with a heavenly scale. Don't interpret them through your limited perspective. Evaluate them through the unveiling that only my spirit supplies. Train yourself to see more deeply, to listen more carefully, to slow your pace if needed, so each step flows from the peace only I grant. If you ever question what truly merits your whole heart, I remind you, among your greatest treasures are the relationships I have entrusted to you. Your family, your spouse, your children, your spiritual siblings, and the gathering of believers under your care. These are treasures the enemy longs to cheapen while you pursue things of lesser eternal significance. Yet, my dear one, it is your diligence in the nearby, in the ordinary, in the small faithful acts that affirms your readiness for my larger plan. Do not allow a career, status, enthralling goals, or superficial success to overshadow the simple power of genuine love. In your final reflections, you will not lament that you accomplished too little, but that you withheld your deepest love or were too distant from those I set beside you. Keep your soul tender toward those dear to you, aware of their spiritual wants, and faithful in prayer, lifting them up with words wrapped in mercy and deeds overflowing with selfless care. I urge you to invest in life-giving pursuits, not just of the flesh, but of the spirit awakened by my love. Dedicate your heart, devotion, and resilience to the things that endure. Moments where you truly listen to someone's unspoken pain, times you let go of hurt even without an apology, the quiet hours praying for your beloved in tears. These all construct my kingdom in your heart and on earth. May you never forsake these for fleeting grandeur. Widespread fame does not equate to eternal significance. People's cheers do not determine your value. Each task I hand to you bears the eternal stamp. If you carry it out faithfully, even unnoticed by others, heaven remembers. Resist the allure of recognition, the busyness, or the drive to make a huge impact if it leads you to neglect the quiet tasks I lay before you even now. a confused person needing comfort, a child longing for prayer, a father craving absolution, a companion at the brink of desolation, awaiting the healing power of your words. In me, clarity is yours. You need not stumble in your own efforts to decide right and wrong. Draw near to me, seeking me wholeheartedly, and I will highlight what truly carries eternal worth, what is to be kept, what must be let go, and what should remain guarded above all else. I will guide your sight to what has genuine importance, not from a cultural vantage, but from the eyes of my faithful love. My wisdom does not mislead. It will anchor you through tempests, drawing you into an arena of peace no chaos can overturn. My beloved, never forget, anything birthed in love and maintained through obedience will never fade. It will yield not just for you, but for generations after you. Live in the awareness that each breath, each choice, holds spiritual weight. Opt for what stands forever, and I, the one who commenced the good work within you, will keep perfecting it until the day of absolute redemption. Thus, my child, embrace a slower, deeper life. Extend more love. Let yourself be rooted in that which truly sustains. Turn your eyes to the everlasting amidst what passes away. In every endeavor, stay united with me, the beginning and the end, the wellspring of existence, and the ultimate meaning behind all creation. If you shape your life this way, you will not look back in anguish, for you have chosen to live in truth, fullness, and harmony with the road I paved for you. You are no longer restricted by what has gone wrong, by your blunders, or by labels the world once attached to you. Before me, you are no longer one who lugs the weight of disgrace or guilt. I have come into your life, reached into your innermost parts, and it was in those hiding places that I sparked the fire of deliverance. In my estimation, you are precious beyond mortal expression. No poem, no psalm can fully express how immense my love for you is. A love that goes beyond time and outstrips every human framework. You are my creation, gazed upon with devotion, the one I tenderly named even prior to the foundation of the cosmos. I do not see you through your slips, but through the pure offering of blood poured out in love to set you free. Now I look upon you stepping ahead, thoroughly transformed with a rejuvenated soul, a spirit that has learned the depth of mercy, a being cloaked in grace's splendor. No longer do you dwell in chains. The shackles that once snared you, whether sin, past regret, or concealed reproach, have been shattered by the might of my deliverance. You are not merely pardoned. You are re-established, rejuvenated, and positioned anew in your rightful place. You stand in authentic freedom, not the brittle version society gives, but the profound liberty that arises from perfect forgiveness, from discovering your belonging, from standing in a realm that no longer bars you from my presence. I have cleansed you from all that dimmed your glow, not due to anything you earned, but because of my nature, an unfailing mercy and unwavering truth that is compelled by love. Are you aware, my child, that each time you bravely met the consequences of your past, it was not a display of frailty, but evidence of spiritual growth? Your courage does not lie in never having erred, but in the choice to confront realities, to exit the night, to advance into the light. Your beauty rests not in perfect appearances, but in that miraculous mixture of scars now healed and grace that envelops you. No condemnation can remain over you, because I, the Holy and Righteous One, have carried every verdict meant for you. There is no curse that can rule over you, no shadow of past mistakes that can intrude upon your present. Where my spirit resides, freedom abounds, and my spirit dwells within, guiding, animating, and remolding you daily. The quiet accusations, the repeating voices of blame that once loomed over you, are now stilled by my eternal pronouncement. You are chosen, you are deeply loved, you are wholly forgiven. There is no external clamor, no internal dread that can supersede my ceaseless affirmation. Therefore, remain steady, my child, upon this bedrock. Don't allow fluctuations in your emotions or human criticism to muddy your new identity in me. Each day recall, you have been redeemed, not by righteous acts, not through your own striving, but by a steadfast love beyond compare. Let this fact permeate your every breath, your every resolution, and your self-perception. Live as someone who has heard the ultimate yes from me, not one seeking approval, but already sealed with the highest's approval. Walk as one liberated, charged with announcing deliverance to captives, mending those crushed in heart, healing the broken with the love that first tended your own wounds. My child, do not drift back to the realms from which you were rescued. Allow nothing to rewrite what I have done. Reject any lingering sense of regret or unworthiness, for it is not from me. Anything I have exonerated, I do not resurrect. Anything I have blotted out, no one can hold over you again. You tread a fresh path, a route of restoration, a journey of faith, a life blossoming with eternal luminosity. My dear one, let your soul rest in this deep certainty. I am the one who hushes every lying voice that sought to corrupt your thoughts, contorting your image of yourself, me, or the mission you're on. Those dim murmurs, sometimes logical, sometimes old wounds, no longer have dominion in your spirit. For I, the Holy One, the Almighty, stand in the depths of your interior battleground, and I have ordered silence upon all that does not grow out of love and verity. Every deception that told you you are insufficient, your sins are too big for forgiveness, or you are destined to remain trapped in old wrongs, is merely an echo lacking substance once my light exposes it. I not only cast out the darkness, I fill that vacant void with my being, a presence that dissolves uncertainty, breaks fetters, and infuses life. You are covered entirely in who I am, not as a fleeting emotion, but as a sincere and indissoluble union between your spirit and eternal reality. Do you not see, my child, that my presence is your safest tower, an impenetrable stronghold no arrow can penetrate? As you live in me, you are no longer a vulnerable mark for evil's cunning. You are hidden within the heart of my unwavering mercy, my immaculate righteousness, and my boundless love, territory where no accuser may enter. This is the realm of your complete emancipation. Hence, stride with assurance, my beloved, with an ardent heart. Resist yielding to terror. Resist stalling at the gate of uncertainty. Carry on, knowing you are not on this path alone. You are the one I have personally claimed, upon whose shoulder my touch rests, enveloped in an indestructible garment of love. I travel before you as a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, clearing the way, lighting your steps, and defending you from concealed threats. The mutters that previously rattled you, saying you are inadequate, you cannot succeed, you have been deserted, no longer dominate, because I have spoken. When I declare, you are mine, every dark scheme must concede. My utterances are not hollow, they are creative force, the essence of life, the command that stills the tempest, the roar that rips apart the heavy veil of doubt. That word, my child, now reverberates in your soul, summoning you to a new life where peace is not merely an experience, but an ingrained quality. Imagine yourself standing in an expansive field, where heaven's breeze flows through each blade of grass, and a soft, warm glow saturates everything. There is no sound to incite fear. That is where I am calling you, to a life beyond relentless effort, into a realm of unwavering serenity. There, you are not struggling to prove yourself, but existing in your original authenticity. There, you do not bear the weight of performance, but rest in my strength. There, all becomes apparent, for I am the light that brightens every secret corner. No more do you need to look behind you, for I have wiped out your past. All voices shaming you are drowned beneath the sacred hush of my mercy. No one can mark you as a failure, since I have proclaimed a new name for you. Redeemed, dearly beloved, singled out, one who belongs to me. That name is yours alone, out of reach for anyone to seize. As a new dawn comes each day, my pledges envelop your footsteps. Not every obstacle will disappear, but you will remain unshaken. The adversary may persist in his pursuit, yet you will not fall. Light may not flood the entire road at once, but you will not wander blindly because my grasp anchors you. Once I have taken your hand, I will never let you go. Dare to live as one delivered. Dare to love as one with nothing to fear. Dare to envision as one who believes I can surpass every longing or request. Move ahead with open eyes, unwavering resolve, and a heart brimming with hopeful expectancy. You no longer reside in the realm of uncertainty. You are a citizen of the kingdom of light. My beloved, the tranquility you feel within is not emptiness, but the echo of a fresh vitality taking shape. It is the holy clearing I have prepared, ready for my eternal seeds. Let my voice be the only one that resonates. When you can identify my whisper amid the chaos, you will not be misled. You will be anchored, you will break through, you will exist in the fullness of the domain for which I shaped you, not solely in tranquility, but in brilliance, joy, and profound purpose. You are mine, and I am forever yours, my treasured child. Each morning, as your eyes open, I am already there, eager to shower upon you mercies drawn from eternity. What I grant is inexhaustible, for my fountain of compassion and love constantly overflows, defying both time and situations. Not a single day dawns devoid of me extending precisely what you need, be it reassuring solace, timely words that encourage, or discreet might for the storms you will face. Each dawn, I supply a new measure of blessing tailored for that moment, so you may proceed not in tension, but in the unwavering sureness of a soul supported by heaven. I observe you living in a realm brimming with sinister ploys, where your spiritual foe ceaselessly scatters seeds of deceit, anxiety, and despair. He studies your movements, slipping in misguiding suggestions during your wariness, hoping to provoke you into questioning your worth, my devotion, and even your divine calling. But my child, never have I allowed you to fend for yourself in the shadows. I did not cast you into life's struggles and step away. I am beside you, arms ready, eyes brimming with compassion, and a heart wholly devoted to loving you endlessly. Rise now from the region of doubt. Rise above the haze the adversary casts. Do not let the voices of denial or twisted lies, none of which come from me, quench the glow already in you. In the core of your being is inscribed a power not of human origin, but of my eternal love and immovable word. It is that same word, firm, unshaken, never conflicting, never abandoning, that will serve as your secure bedrock in every life challenge. Take my word as the pulse of your soul, the echo resounding in your thoughts, the breath of every resolution. If you allow it to carve itself deeply within, it transforms from mere memory to living essence, an essence that enlivens faith and faith that melts dread. From that inner wellspring, faith takes root, grows, and eventually blossoms into unassailable confidence in my unchanging nature. No matter how violently the ground moves or how many familiar things collapse. Child, faith isn't the uplifting feeling that emerges when all is smooth. Faith is a deliberate choice, repeated daily, to rely on my word, even when the anticipated miracle remains unseen, when sorrow persists, when the way forward stays cloaked. Authentic faith is not reliant on convenience. It demands resiliency. I can see how you are learning to believe through hardship, learning to grip my hand when only a promise remains. I behold it and rejoice in the devotion of your heart. Keep in mind, no matter how violently the storm roars, I remain your invincible haven. No gust or wave disturbs me. I am never taken aback by life's twists. Indeed, I saw them all beforehand and have gone ahead, preparing a refuge formed by mercy's depths, a shelter where you can come weeping, resting, and receiving new vigor. When all else collapses, I remain. I am not just a sanctuary from chaos. I stand strong to contend for you. You were never meant to endure affliction alone. This battle is not solely on your shoulders. I step forward with no visible blade, but with all the authority of heaven. I fight not because you are flawless, but because you are mine. There is no power, no adversity, no constriction that can imprison the one I have liberated. That one is you, my beloved. So arise, my child, brimming with boldness. Do not bow under fears of what might or might not occur. Do not be anxious regarding what you cannot manipulate. Each day, claim your identity as fully outfitted, carrying my word, my love, and my constant closeness. Let your heartbeat align with mine, each footstep guided by the brilliance I provide. As you venture under my direction, though you traverse flame, you will not be consumed. Though you pass through floods, you will not drown. For I, the Holy One, am ever with you. Now offer me the honest cry of your heart. You might say, Lord, I approach you humbly, longing to uncover what remains concealed. Holy Spirit, open my inner vision so I can look past this world's thin layer and recognize the quiet barriers preventing the fulfillment of my divine purpose. Let me not be misguided by flawed arguments or hazy emotions. Grant me heavenly sight to distinguish authentic truth from deceptive appearances, what is truly yours from what only acts like it. I yearn to see as you see, Lord. Fill me with divine bravery to accept the truth you disclose, even if it unsettles me. Keep me from retreating. Enable me to confront it with sincere faith. No longer do I wish to live under the cloud of compromise. Liberate me from my fears and raise me as one called to demolish the unseen chains binding me. I pronounce that I am not a child of darkness, but of light. Lord, if any part of my life, a relationship, a habit, a goal, or a mindset, is not from you, bring it to light. Cut off every unholy tie, each subtle negativity that pulls me from your plan. I renounce all that is not of your kingdom. I will not hold on to anything that obstructs my entry to your promised land. Come mightily and lead me to genuine liberty. Lord, I beg pardon for every moment I hesitated, for every instance I heard your voice but did not act promptly. Today I resolve to live in instant submission. Extract from me any delay masquerading as valid reasoning. Grant me a spirit quick to respond, not demanding full clarity but simply trusting the guiding hand. I declare my waiting has ended. Now is the time. I will walk with you, Lord. You see every secret place of my heart, the emotional gashes left untreated, the still bleeding recollections. Today, I open my entire being so your spirit may venture into the corners I once concealed. Heal me, mind, body, spirit, every fracture that keeps me incomplete. Cleanse my old wounds with the precious blood of your Son. I proclaim that painful memories shall no longer imprison me. I receive your healing in Jesus Christ's holy name. Lord, grant me supernatural discernment to identify what genuinely originates from you, as opposed to false claims. Make my soul sufficiently sharp so I do not fall for counterfeit truths or illusions in disguise. When I confront a critical juncture, let your word be my guide. I decide not to be steered by emotion or immediate events, but by the gentle nudge of your spirit. Teach me to listen intently and to keep walking in your light. Lord, let me see if I'm clinging to things I ought to have released long ago, things that seemed good but truly prevent your best. Give me courage to part with everything misaligned from the journey you have planned for me. Even should I fail to see the logic, I'll trust that when you remove something, it is so something better may come. I refuse to live trapped by regrets or overthinking. I relinquish these, so I may go forward. I let them go, so I may soar. Lord, rekindle in me the awareness of the purpose you instilled from the start. Remind me of what you whispered before, the seeds you planted in my spirit when I was new in faith. Ignite again a steadfast faith in the calling I carry. Though life's stages change, your intentions remain constant. I am a child of promise, uniquely shaped for a holy plan. Establish this truth in me day by day. Lord, in my soul I sense your divine beckoning. I do not merely want to hover at the boundary of my destiny. I want to enter it fully. Clear the path. My beloved child, the words you've just received are not the end, but the beginning of something sacred. This moment was not chance. It was my appointment with your spirit. Now I invite you to walk with me beyond this message. Return here, where my voice will keep guiding you, where my presence continues to speak between the lines. Subscribe not to follow a voice, but to stay in step with the move of my spirit. Turn on your notifications, not for updates, but so you never miss the next door I open for your transformation. Share this word with those who are searching in silence, because through you, I will reach many more. Come back again and again, For each time you do, I will meet you with more clarity, deeper healing, and the next step toward your calling. You are not just consuming words, you are awakening your destiny. Amen.